Then, now, this is the difference. Because this is a webinar, we can do live on Facebook. Now, what I did already, I went ahead and did this. So we're going to just copy this. So on my timeline. Takes a minute for this to warm up. Now, I need the link for the PDF download. Did you double check it already? No, I got it. I'm going in directly because let me just show you this also real quick. Oh, this says that you are currently editing it. That's okay, don't worry. Well, you better exit out of it. You probably should. Hi, cutie. Sweet boy. Just save it. I'm gonna do whatever we need to do to it. All right. So here's what I would want you to do, and you know how to do these in the future. You would put the image not here, but actually down here in the featured image. That way, like if you share it, it will actually have this image. You do that for all posts. Put a featured image in. I'm going to take this out because it might show up twice. Okay, very good. Then just update. And then what we'll do here, what do you mean? The name of it. Let's see. Let's see. Did you check it by any chance? Before, did you check it to see how it downloaded? Okay, that's all right. It's going to be fine. 673 kilobytes. Okay, so it's big download. It's fine. Look, there it is. Fine. Perfect. Okay, here we go. Now, we want to copy this. I forgot. So this is we are live with boom. We're ready. Oh. No, I did? Oh, shit. Shit. How did I do that? Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you saw that. Because that would have been crazy. Did it work? Wait, hold on. I erased them. go ahead and sign on to Zoom. Okay, I gotta put on earrings. It's too late to talk about that right now. Okay, here we go. Hi. Let's see. Stop this sound. Okay. Ha. Participants, attendees. I've got Kathy, Kat, Priscilla, Simi T, and Solomia. Solomia, you are now officially a panelist. Okay, so, okay, look, hi, welcome everyone. Solomia, what we need is that PDF link to be put here for the people, the participants. So if you'll select chat and then put the link there, then we can give them the PDF. So friends, thank you so much for joining. My name is Crystal Lynn Bell, and I want to welcome you to Should You Be a Healer or a Spiritual Life Coach or both? I think you should do both, but that's just my opinion. So today, I have just a small presentation planned for you, and then we are going to take your questions. Well, actually, I would love to take your questions as we go along with this session today. So if you have a question, there is a way to raise your hand in the webinar. So Lamia, do you see how to raise your hand as a participant? I think it's because I made you a panelist. Oh, I see. Yeah, I see it. It's like a little hand. If you hover over your name, you'll see there's a little hand there. You can do that, and that'll let me know that you have a question. Please do not hesitate to interrupt me. It's better that we get your questions answered, and it'll fuel the conversation and get other people stimulated as well, okay? So let me, oh, and by the way, right now everyone is muted, so we cannot hear you speaking. But we do have the ability to hear you. So when you raise your hand, I'll, when I highlight you, you'll be able to talk, okay? All right, so just to let you know, we have a live broadcast on Facebook. And so I'm gonna just very quickly check over on Facebook and make sure that I've set that up properly. It looks like we are set up properly. It's rolling. So now I'm gonna leave that alone for now, and I'm gonna come on back to my folks here in the session here on Zoom. All right, so again, I wanna thank you all for coming. And Solomia is my assistant, by the way. And she has, she has downloaded a PDF file which is really basic. You can either download it or not download it, but it has the notes on what I'm talking about today. And my topic of discussion, I've given you the notes, but I don't have my notes open. Oh, wait, there's one thing I have to do before I start. Okay, we're good. Actually, I'm now done with that thing. Boom. So I made notes about my topic for discussion so that you can look at them and, you know, maybe use them later if you want to or not. Totally up to you. That's what's in the PDF. Also, I have a couple of programs that you might be interested in. I'll talk about those. They're also, though, the details are in the PDF. So please feel free to download that PDF and either use it while we're in the session or use it afterward, okay? All right, so I'm ready to rock and roll. I want to start off by checking in with the people that are in the live presentation with us. And I want to just have you introduce yourself and tell us what brings you here to this session today. Why are you sitting in on this session called "Should You Be a Healer or a Spiritual Life Coach?" All right, so I'm going to start off just at the top of the list. I've got Kathy Wilkie. So Kathy, I'm gonna unmute you and have you just hop on and tell us what brings you here today.
Oh, hi.
Hey, hi.
You know what? That's really funny. I'm not Kathy Wilkie. I'm Shauna Floto. And, but that's somebody that I'm doing business with. And I've used her account to log in. So I was like, Kathy's on the call? And it's actually me.
That is hilarious, Shauna.
Oh, this is so funny. Oh, okay.
So wait, is this your picture or is this your picture?
That's hers. and it's okay. I think it's fine. She's fine.
Yeah.
I'm doing an empowered feminine business mastermind with her, and
okay.
I'm like interning with her.
Okay.
So I'm helping her with women who are mostly healers, and I would like to be a healer. I am a healer. I mean, I think a lot of us, probably everybody on this call is a healer.
Right.
But I currently work in local government, and I have for ever since I got out of college. So it's been like 7 years.
Okay.
And making digital maps. Like it's so turned me on. Like it's cool, you know, like it can be creative. It's very analytical.
Okay.
It satisfied certain like masculine strives that I was making for groundedness and like
I get that.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It had a lot of structure to it and I felt safe, you know, and like I was able to do a lot of self-healing during that time. And now I'm in my Saturn's return and I'm like looking around like, uh-oh, this is not the spot for me anymore, you know?
So it's time for a change and you're looking to go into being a healer and you want to kind of explore that. Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. Good. I've been certified in yoga.
Great.
Massage therapy is something I'm interested in, and I'm doing a coaching program with a company called One Taste Learning.
Oh, yes, I know One Taste.
Mm-hmm. You do? Okay.
Yeah, very good. Excellent. Great. Well, thank you so much, Shauna, for, did I say it right? Because now if you could change your name on there, that would be awesome. So I don't keep calling you.
See if I can do that.
Yeah, you may not be able to, especially mid-session. Never mind. But that's okay. So look, I saw that you put a note there that says, where do we download the PDF? And you might want to, I'm just going to tell Solomia, you might want to just repost the link. But the link for the PDF is in the chat box. And Solomia is going to reload that for people who are wanting that or needing that. Thank you so much, Shauna, right? Am I saying, is it right?
Shauna, you got it. Yeah.
Wait, Jana or Shauna?
Shauna, S-H-A-N-A.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Shauna. We'll check in with you a little bit later.
Thank you.
All right, next I have Chandi. Chandi, are you there? Oh, allow to talk and unmute.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, Chandi, how are you?
I'm doing well, and I'm so glad that I was able to join in today.
Yeah, great. Thank you for coming on. So what brings you to the call today?
You know, I got an email. I must have signed up on something with Facebook, and the email invite, the subject line was so intriguing that I literally had to stop and reread it again.
Yeah.
And this is something for me as a pre-med student,
Yes.
contemplating going into medical school, but I have this very, very strong desire to learn about integrative medicine and holistic care and non-Western forms of medicine. And this is something that I don't know a lot about, but am very, very interested in adding this. I feel like any medical profession or physician should have that desire to want to heal their patient.
Yeah.
And that is definitely lacking in our medical fields here in America. So I feel that I want to learn and possibly enhance my own skills as a future physician. So
Yes.
I'm very interested in learning more about this and seeing what it entails.
Yes, I love it so much. I love it because we need that, Chandi, just like you know, and I hope you will take it very far because merging these, merging the East and West is where it's at, man. Bringing these kinds of energetic practices and working on the self at many different levels, not just at the level of the physical body. That's like just putting a band-aid on your soul. That's not it, you know? So
Right.
I hope that you just make me very happy, and I wish you the best on this journey wherever it takes you and however deeply you want to go into integrating it. It's wonderful what you're saying. I trust that I trust that you will be a leader in this and serve many people very well on the highest level. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Um, Heather, Heather, let's see. Heather, hi.
Hi, can you hear
Hey,
me?
yes, hi.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's so nice to see you here. I was thinking about you earlier today, and here you are.
Oh my goodness. It's funny because I am in your program and have been for months now. I
Mhm.
think I'm in your 10-year program actually. But it's done wonders for me. And my story is, I have a long story, but basically, I've been a registered nurse for over 20 years. And
Yeah.
I had an illness, which I didn't I wanted to change my reality, and I was able to halt the illness uh, using the healing techniques that I had learned over the years and in the courses. Um, and I also realized that as being an RN, the whole time, my healing was in my hands,
Yeah.
actually, and putting my actual hands on the patient and my eyes looking right in the eyes of the patient. And that started to change with the computer systems. And we started to get further away from that. And I felt, made me very uncomfortable. And it felt like I wasn't able to heal the way that I was meant to heal.
Mhm.
So I got out of nursing, and now I am going to be a healer and a spiritual life coach.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm finally on that path that I was meant to be on. And I've never been more fulfilled in my life. So it's great. And I do believe that the Eastern Western medicines are going to be mixed. And that's the future of our medicine.
Yeah. Lots of places are moving in that direction already, aren't they?
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
It
Look,
works. I mean, I halted an illness that wasn't supposed to halt.
you said what, Heather?
I stopped an illness that wasn't supposed to stop.
Right. Yes. 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 You know, it's beautiful that you followed Chandi, you know, and I, because as Chandi's telling me, you know, what she wants to do, and I'm thinking about you because, and Heather, I'm going to just very gently share very gently about you and what
Please
you're
do.
doing. But Heather has put together, oh my God, oh, it makes me want to cry when I think about Heather's story and how much she has overcome, how she is, oh my God. I can't wait for her business to be complete so that we can do the full reveal. But, you know, she's overcome physical illness and, you know, physical issues, fire, you know, death,
Yes, my house
sickness.
just burnt down.
Oh my
If
God,
that's not a, if that's not releasing, you know, physical attachments,
right?
I don't know what
And
is.
and keeping this attitude that she has right now, this attitude of I'm good, I'm here, I'm a spiritual being having, you know, a human experience, and I'm embracing it. She's somebody who doesn't shut down, doesn't escape, doesn't try to escape from what she's feeling. She's just in it, you know. It's just awesome, and there's so much to her story, and just watching Heather, watching you grow. You know, we've been working together now. Heather's in my spiritual life coach certification program, and she's putting together a business that is just dynamite, where she's working with people in the healthcare industry, providing them with support from her vast experience. I cannot tell you the vast experience. I mean, I could, but I don't. Anyway, you
It would
got
take all day.
it would take a while, but it would also, I just want you to know her, and she has so much to
Thank
offer,
you.
so talented, such a wonderful healer, a wonderful writer. You know, she's got a blog. Can I give your blog? Heather, give your blog.
It's commongroundhealing.com.
commongroundhealing.com. The
Yeah.
thing is, her blog is, she's building her site right now. So look, you go on there, you know, you're only getting a portion of what she
Yeah.
does, because she's experimenting with building her website. She's experimenting with writing her story. And that's what the certification program that I put together is all about. It's about having, you know, I've started my business. When I first went into coaching, I didn't have someone to kind of mentor me into what it's like to be a coach or to be a healer. I had to figure it all out myself. And this program, because I've walked it all, I've done it, I've learned what not to do, and I've learned what to do. Um, I put together a certification program that will allow people to walk through this with me, holding their hand, showing them every step along the way. And Heather's been learning how to build a website, learning how to make videos, like doing all this stuff, and it's really awesome. And all this is going on while she's having, you know, three-dimensional things coming in, and three-dimensional challenges is what I'll call them. The
Challenges. Yeah.
fire and the illness, which is not even an illness, because she overcame that shit. Like,
Oh, yeah.
not going down that path. She claimed it right off the bat. She's like, nah, Crystalline, I'm not going down that path. What do we do? How do we make me not go down this path, because I'm not going down that path? I'm like, yeah, go on with your bad self, because I can see that you are not going to be taken down by illness. It's awesome, Heather. Thank you.
Thank you, Crystal, and I love it. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'm really, really, really pleased and happy for you. All right, so let me check in here. We have Keely. Keely, I'm unmuting you. You want to just give us a little check-in and tell us a little bit about why you're here?
Hi, Crystal, and how are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. It just sounds a little faint.
Oh,
It's all right, though.
any
I can
better?
hear you.
Okay, I'm not really sure where the mic is on my computer, so
Okay, well, I hear
sorry.
you very well now.
Okay, cool. So I'm here because I am, I guess like everyone else, I'm starting to realize that I'm healer and wanting to get more into that. My background is as a lawyer, and I wrote you a little email before, and I told you that, and I actually just started my own little practice, but I've realized over the last couple of months, I've been going deep into some inner healing and looking at like karmic patterns and that sort of thing, and have kind of looked at why I went to law school, why I became a lawyer and all that stuff, and realizing that it's never really resonated with me. And it doesn't stir any fire in me whatsoever. And so I'm just looking at exploring my other options at this point. Earlier this summer, actually, this past spring, I started going to this meditation meetup, and we practiced a few different meditation modalities and working with energy. And it was through that I kind of discovered that we did one where we were just kind of like touching each other and feeling each other's energy fields, and I realized how like powerful and real that was, and I realized that I was tapping into my own source of healing and unconditional love, and I just realized like, wow, I actually have this capability. So I wanted to continue to explore that and see where that goes, and see. I don't really know exactly what I would offer as a spiritual coach, but I wanted to just find out more and see where this could lead.
Yeah, I think that's really wonderful. I love it when I meet people who are already professionals or who are becoming professionals or in the three-dimensional world doing something practical, being a nurse, being a doctor, being a lawyer, but you find yourself in a profession, but you're called to this spiritual thing. And I'll tell you, for me, I grew up in a family of dentists. My dad, my stepdad, that is, and my aunt are both dentists, and my mom works in the worked as the manager of their practices. And so I grew up working in their practices, and by the time I was 18 years old, I knew everything there was to know about running a dental office, and I was running multi-million-dollar dental practices. And I hated every single moment of it. I hated it. However, I was very keenly aware that while I was working with my family, I was learning, number one, how to work. My family drove me like a slave, like literally I'd go to school full time. I'm in high school. I'd get off work out of class at 2:45, take the bus for an hour down to my parents' office, work for 6 to 7 hours, sometimes not even getting home till midnight, doing insurance billing, doing collections, handling collection, working with a collections agency, preparing things for court, all these kinds of things. And at the same time, I also had that part of the job where people were coming into the office in pain. So they'd come in with an abscessed tooth, or they'd come in and they were very old and they, wanted to hold on to their teeth. But, we had to pull out all the little rotten stubs, but they were resistant to having a full denture. All these kinds of things were where I got to learn how to see people and to like get into their feelings and nurture them along. Like, oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Smith. I know you really value your teeth. I know, but we got to let them go. And let's get you into a nice set of dentures where you can smile and enjoy your food and all these kinds of things. You have to like take care of people that, on one hand, I'm like really hating working, doing the insurance. It wasn't the people that I hated in dentistry. It was the insurance. It was the claims. It was trying to get people who didn't have a lot of money, trying to get them to understand the value of good oral health. You know, it was really just hard. But working with the people was really nice, and I learned how to be supportive. And it wasn't until I'd been out of I had stopped working with my parents and started building my own businesses. I had started a massage studio, and then I started doing massage. Then I developed a massage and wellness center, and that was when I really saw how much I had learned about taking care of people, about business structure, organizing, and how to be in the three-dimensional world and to adhere to setting up a business. And really, here we go, how to make money, how to structure your business and your time in a way that actually rewards you, not just so that you're, working really hard in your business and, you aren't able to support yourself, or giving yourself a job. We want to have a good, solid business. And I learned that by working with my family. So all of this is to say, Keely, I feel like you're in the law right now. And it's important, actually, as I'm saying this, you're in the law right now. The law is super, super significant for healing. And, if we ever wanted to talk about this, we could talk about this. But understanding three-dimensional law, how it reflects the spirit of a nation, and where we break laws, how that affects, how that is reflective of the being inside. It is fascinating. You can really get deeply into this. And if you want to merge the two together in some kind of an interesting practice, you could. But there's just a lot of potential to take what you have learned and to elevate it to another level where it's not just about, one person versus another, or, whatever the law can do in the 3D, but taking it to the higher meanings and things that it represents in the energetic world. To me, that's super powerful. Does that make sense?
Right. Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of, just in the energetic world, we make a lot of contracts in our lives, not with other people, but with our souls and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's interesting.
Sure. Oh my goodness. Yes. So yes, I think that it may not be the thing that you're called to, like in your soul, but your soul has led you there for a reason. And I think that you can start unpacking what your soul wants you to bring in and see how you can merge these two, and that in and of itself is a journey that you will be able to share with other people as a healer, and or as a coach, if that's what you prefer. So thank you so much. Lovely, wonderful. All right. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Kayati. Cutie?
Hi, Crystalline. Can you
Hi.
hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Hello.
Yes, that is exactly how you pronounce my name. It's Khyati.
Kayati, oh lovely. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, same here. It's my first time that I'm here with you online.
Excellent.
Otherwise, I just hear your videos offline from Facebook and from YouTube.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. So I am very excited about this healing session that you're organizing right now, because at the same time that I am figuring it out my life path, which is very much aligned like a healer, and which is what I was considering a change of my profession. I am software
Yes.
professional by my studies, and but I am looking forward to turn my path into a spiritual psychotherapy program.
Yes.
And this is where I was a little bit feeling confused and whether I'm ready or not, because I think I need to do a lot of healing for myself, because before I'm ready for to stand forward as a healer.
Yes.
So I'm very new here, so I haven't stepped up as a healer yet, but I think I have the potential potential, and I need some kind of more clarity in my life to come forward.
Yes. Yes. So look, I consider myself to be really intuitive, and I consider myself to be right. I'm sorry, I'm going to just say it. I trust my intuition. I trust what I feel. I trust the impressions that I receive. And Kiati, I feel like you do have the healers. I feel like you are a healer. And again, just like with, I'm sorry, just like with Keely and with Chandi, but with Keely in particular, you know, on one hand, it sounds like, okay, software, law, what do those have to do with spirituality? But actually, they have so much to do with spirituality. And software in particular is the mode of spirituality. I cannot emphasize this enough to people. And it's a missed opportunity that people don't recognize it. And Kiati, it will be people like you who will be the ones who lead the shift that can happen. So here's a little brief insight into my theory around software, technology, and spirituality. Number one, it is a basic principle of spirituality that there is no space or time. So angels, the source energy, God, any galactic entities are existing outside the realm of time and space. It's in eternity. And there are quantum theories that say that time is not linear like our minds think. They are all is happening now. All is happening now. So if all is happening right now, and of course, where do we get this more than in technology, where, you know, I can be in California and with a click of a button, I can send you an image and you can receive it in Siberia. Like space or time, what? You know, like it's amazing. Like we're all occupying the same space and time right now. We're here. Space and time, it's not real. It's a concept of the three-dimensional thing that we call reality. So software is at the leading edge of understanding this. And so the joyful thing that you can do, Kiati, is to start you understanding how technology is reflecting this spiritual truth. In what ways is technology, software, how is it helping us to actually access, I'm so excited right now, oh my gosh, how is it helping us access these really, I'm sorry, I'm pulling out my iPad. The reason I'm doing this is because I just had a conversation with one of my clients, and I was doing a tarot reading for her, and she's like, hey, Crystalline, I want you to use the paper cards. You know, I don't like those digital cards so much. And I'm like, oh my God, because I use digital cards for my tarot. And I have at least 20 tarot decks that are all digital, you know? And so here I am with my technology where everything's at the push of a button, everything is an instant answer. And I'm going to say boyfriend, just the word boyfriend, and Spirit says, you're not satisfied with where you are right now. This is the card it gives me, the Seven of Pentacles. And sure enough, I'm not satisfied with where I am right now. I want a boyfriend. And the fact of the matter is that this stuff, this spirituality, the depth of information that I get from my tarot cards that are digital is life altering. I choose where I'm going to live. I choose what sessions I offer. Everything that you see on my website, as far as my ideas are concerned, come from my relationship with Spirit, confirmed through this tarot, whatever this is, tarot software. So you can use paper cards, that's fine. You like the feel of the 3D, that's fine. But let me tell you something. Using digital cards is going to help you understand the nature of spirituality, because it's not about tactile. It's not about, even needing to choose. It's about knowing where you are and moving beyond space and time, boom, into an instant answer, you see. Does that make sense, Kiati?
Oh, that's a new way of understanding a technology. I didn't see it that way, but yeah, you're given a new dimension how technology can act as a platform of expanding your spirituality
That's it.
and just boundless. Yeah,
That's it.
really.
It is boundless. It's instant. And part of my, both you and Heather actually mentioned things that I'm going to be talking about in my presentation today, which, and I'm going to just touch on the one. As a spiritual life coach, I like doing my sessions online. Here's why. When I do a session online, well, first of all, spiritual life coaching for me is an intense session because my energy, I'm a channel of energy. So when I'm working with someone, spirit floods me with the information I need to give them. So for me, it's a high vibrational experience, and it's intense. It's like each one of my coaching sessions is like this. I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm grabbing tarot cards. We're doing shadow work. I'm blah, 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 boom, boom, boom. So for me, having a little bit of distance and my client also having a little bit of distance from me is probably a really good thing. Because when I'm in coaching mode, if you're sitting in the same room with me, my dear assistant is here in the room with me, and she's probably going, Crystalline, what? What? The thing is, for me, it's really good to have that kind of, it's like the technology will allow us to have a layer of separation. It's like having a thin veil where you don't have to worry about my arms shooting out and knocking the water off. You don't have to deal with that. I have to deal with that, but you don't have to. Whereas with healing, now healing is done beautifully online. Lots of people do healing online where, they can either sit in person with you like this and facilitate the healing. I personally prefer, though, to do healing one-on-one in person. When I'm in healing mode, it's very different than when I'm in coaching mode. I am very much a nurturer, and I like creating a beautiful healing space where a person can go deeply into trance, go into another realm. I love offering that. Also, my first work with healing was as a massage therapist. So I learned how to touch people and heal through touch. And I just absolutely love it. I'm one of those massage therapists. I'm that rare massage therapist who could do 10 hours of massage a day and be like, oh, that was so wonderful, my body doesn't break down. My mind doesn't break down. When I'm doing massage, it's a wonderful experience. So I like that touch. So for me, healing, I prefer to do in person, and coaching, I prefer to do separate. And Kiati, you can explore for yourself. You have the workings. You know how a network works. I recommend you watch The Matrix, the first one, if you haven't watched it, and you study that film from a spiritual perspective and understand how important you choosing to pursue healing as a profession and as a vocation and as deep study, how beneficial that is to all of us. I hope, oh, look, I'm on fire. I'm hot. Armpits are a little moist. I'm just flowing. Are you okay, Kiati?
Yeah, same here. It's my goosebumps on.
Excellent. Woohoo! Woohoo! I love it. Wonderful. I'm so glad that you joined the call. Thank you so much.
Yes, well, thank you.
All right. Oh, look who's here. It is my stepsister, Angie. Oh, she put herself as Angela. Look, wait, hold on. Angie, unmute. Can I call you Angie, or do you prefer Angela?
Yes, Angie's good.
Hi, Angie.
Hi, sister.
How are you?
I'm doing great, and I'm so glad I tuned in today because it's exactly all the things I needed to hear this morning after a
Yeah.
rough night of doing that panicking thing of going in the wrong direction in life.
Oh, darling. Okay, I'm so sorry. Yes, that is a challenging thing. But
Yeah.
yes, so tell me what's bringing you to the call. I don't want to make any assumptions.
Yeah, well, I opened a dance studio in 2007, and it was sort of a sensual movement for women based off of exotic dance, but I trademarked I switched the style up a little bit. It was more meditative and meant to be healing. And we all sat in a circle and did this warm up in the movement. And there was a lot of touch where you put your hands on your body.
Yeah.
Technique that I learned from a place in LA that was teaching pole. The lights were low. There were no mirrors. So it was very much like getting into your body experience.
Yes.
And I loved it. It was challenging, but I loved it. And I was always trying to think of ways to get women more in touch, in tune with themselves and listening in their bodies. And then I got cancer twice in 6 years. And it pulled me away from the business because I really just had to focus on my health.
Yeah.
So I took on a business partner and I just became disconnected from it. But when I came back, I was like, okay, I'm on fire now. I have all this energy in my hands opening up.
Yeah.
I can feel the energy chakras in my hands very clearly and in the soles of my feet.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I got to slowly sneak some stuff into these classes, because the business had gotten so big and there was this cult following and everybody loved boudoir dance and they loved the archetypes and all the stuff that I had created. But I wanted it to have more meaning for me now because it had settled into a place where it was like not deep enough for me anymore.
Yeah.
And I needed more. But as I started like setting my boundaries and like really taking charge back of the business, there was so much resistance because I hadn't been there. I had just been disconnected. And so it just became really obvious. There was a big rumbling, an earthquake. It was like the tarot card, the towers.
Yeah.
Exploded. Conflict with my my domineering business partner. She didn't want me to come back in. It was obvious energetically. And so I sold it to her. I prayed and I meditated and I heard a voice saying, Angie, just step out of this. It was like there was drama now in my business. There were people gossiping about each other. And that was always the top priority of me to have like more of a family.
Yeah.
They were all close and it was kind of cool. But it was getting to that corporate stage where people were like throwing each other under the bus behind their backs. And it was just like, I was trying to heal from cancer and I could feel that energy so much more clearly. It was like, it was like clanging cymbals. Like when I came in, my energy was clanging against it. Like I could feel the rattling. It was so uncomfortable. But it was my livelihood.
So what's going on right now, though, that is keeping you up and making you come to this session right now?
Well, I knew when I left and when I got in there that I wanted to do more energy healing with my hands. I was told specifically that, in by my guides.
Totally.
But I wasn't courageous enough so I invested money in a coaching program, but it was like to help me get going doing business coaching, which I'm just realizing like literally yesterday, I'm still trying to get it off the ground, but it's a lot of work when you don't have the same level of passion as you would, there's obviously more intimacy working with coaching with people, but the stress of opening a business and the stress of all the fears that people have with their finances and all that stuff. I'm just like, wow, I don't know if I was trying to like stepping stone it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm going to do this thing that I've owned a business for 11 years. I can help other women with all the things that I learned.
Yeah, but
I invested a whole bunch of money and time when I could have been. I just thought, it's going to take me so long to learn to be a healer. That's going to take years,
Yes, Angie. So let me ask you something. the coaching program that you're in right now, how long is that program?
It's over, and it was only it was 8 weeks. It was 8 weeks, and it was extremely expensive.
Yeah. Look,
And
so okay, and I'm going to tell you all about this because if you look at my coaching program, and I have a download in the PDF, there's my coaching program outlined, and there's also their links in there, so you can check it out online if you want. But my certification is 10 to 12 months long. And the reason that it's so long is because you cannot get a business started in 2 months. You just cannot. Even if you sit down and you do nothing but that business, you can't. So I would not want someone to think that they can go into healing and establishing a business without my help. And I'm going to be honest with you, running a business, and you know this, Angie, you know, because you've had a brick and mortar business, right? And you are now setting up an online business. They're two different beasts. You go about them in two different ways. You have to know how to do that. I had a brick and mortar business, my massage studio, wellness center. That was brick and mortar, right? We were there for several years. I had a bunch of employees working for me, and now I'm working on my own doing this. I have my one trusty assistant who is fantastic, awesome. But that is, you need to have a formula that you can use to like help guide you. And this is what I tried to do with this program. I didn't try to do it. It's what I did with this program. I gave you the formula that I use that works. You get everything from like the structure, you know, like how to literally set up the business structure, how to set up the website, how to set up your services, how to set up your menu. You get all that there for you to use. If you don't want to do it my way, you don't have to do it my way, but at least you have me there saying, hey, this is how I did it. This is what works. You can just take what's mine, change out the things that you don't like, and plug them in. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. This is what people be doing, reinventing the wheel. And that's a lot of work, you know? That's a lot of work. So, Angie, I don't think that you need to start thinking about like, oh, you're down the wrong path, but definitely we can talk more about how to get like you supported for the long haul, setting up some goals so that you can break down this business without trying to bite off too much. Biting off too much will make you burn out. It'll make you deliver shit quality. You know, I am not into shit quality for anything. I like excellence. Slow takes time to become excellent. So you got to set yourself up for that. You got to like give yourself enough time. It might mean that you need a part-time job in the interim. I had a part-time job before I started my business. And that worked real well for me. You know, I didn't have to take out a business loan. I was able to work and start it and do it all at the same time. So there are different ways of approaching things. It all depends on what your own needs are. But the point is that there is a way to do it. You just need to find that way. Call on the divine to help guide you. And don't get too caught up in the divine. This is the other issue with being spiritual. You get caught up in the upper world and you don't know how to bring that information down and manage it in the three-dimensional world. Angie, I think you're ahead of the game because, again, you had a brick and mortar business. Running a brick and mortar business is a big deal. My baseline out-of-pocket expense for my little studio was like $18,000 a month. That's a fuck lot of massages to do just to cover the bills, you know? So you have to like really work things differently when you're working in brick and mortar versus when you're working online, you know?
Yeah.
Hopefully that makes a lot of sense. Yeah?
It does. It's a lot. Yeah, it
All
does.
right, so we'll talk more about this, like, you know, and as questions come up. Please, my friends, don't forget to raise your hands and let me know what it is you need. My goodness, I see Armand Soto on the line. Armand, hello.
Hello.
Hi, Armand.
Hi there. How are
It's
you?
so good to hear you. It's so good to hear you. Hi,
there.
darling.
Hi. Guess
So,
where I am today?
where?
I'm just had the first day of the metaphysical anatomy course.
Oh, you're doing it. You know,
Yeah.
God, Armand, this is so funny. I literally was just thinking about you today. I got an email from a lovely woman, and I was going to be talking to her about metaphysical anatomy. And I thought about you and taking your course. This is amazing. I'm so glad that you called in today.
Yeah, I wanted to join last time, but I wasn't able to, and now this one was going to be difficult too, but I just saw you online, so it worked
Oh,
out.
excellent,
Well,
excellent. So tell me, what are you looking for? Like, what's bringing you into this?
I mean, yeah, I'm really seriously thinking about starting something for myself and finding out a way to make a business maybe, or at least start out maybe for part-time, and this
Yeah.
would be my first qualification, I
Yeah.
suppose.
The metaphysical anatomy would be your first?
Qualification.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So I definitely want to, sorry?
What a great place to start.
Yeah, super excited.
Yeah.
So I do want to book a little session with you soon to talk about that,
Definitely.
because I am super interested in your program. I just don't
Yeah.
know how to practically make that work just yet.
Yeah, well, we'll figure it out. Oh,
Yeah.
I love it because, you know, I feel like you're going to be a wonderful healer. And my sister Angie is also Piscean.
Uh-huh.
And I really feel like the nature of Pisces, when you all choose, if we have any other Pisces on the line here, when you all choose to really go deeply into the healing, you go very easily, you receive very easily, and you transmit very, very easily. Like one of the best facilitators and transmitters of healing and energy in the zodiac.
Yeah.
It's challenging for the Pisces to get grounded because, you know, if you're that much of a channel of divine energy, you know, it's kind of like your water, and it's hard to get grounded and to create the business stuff. But as far as I'm concerned, the business is a must, and you simply have to buckle down and do the steps, and it doesn't have to be hard. You just have to stick with it, show up for your business, you know, the planning every single day. Think through the problems, you know. I remember, you know, trying to organize the space. I had this, you know, this wellness center, and trying to organize the space and lay it out, and having these big dreams of, you know, hundreds of people in this small little space. And I'm like, well, how am I going to get, it wasn't hundreds of people that I wanted, but it was like 20 people that I wanted, you know, 20 to 30 people that I wanted for this space. And the
Are you
question
talking
was,
about in the past or
yeah,
in
this
the
is in the
future?
past. This was my previous business, the one I had before I started doing this coaching online full time.
Mm-hmm.
I was a massage therapist, and I had a wellness studio. So I had like 13, 14 employees, and we were all doing our thing, right? And you know, how to maneuver all these people, all these personalities. It was exciting to try and figure it out. It was a game. And I think Angie could probably very much attest to the joy of, you know, Tetris, and you know, being able to like create a you know, create your dream, and your business is the canvas for your dream. And you have something you want to do, you don't know quite how to practically make it happen. You tune into spirit, and spirit will show you the way. We are in an unlimited universe, and everything comes so quickly. This goes back to Kiati, and you know, working with technology and being beyond space and time. It's really fascinating. So Armand, I think that you have a wonderful healing energy, and just getting you to channel that and focus. You're a deep emotional thinker. You're an emotional feeling. You have access to a tremendous deep well of emotion, and to be able to work on yourself with that is one thing, but to also be able to impart that to another person is another. And I think that you would be really qualified to do that for people, you know. And so
Awesome.
yeah, I look forward to talking to you about that.
Yeah, me too. Super excited.
Yeah, right on, darling. I look forward to it. Thanks for coming on.
Of course.
And I can't wait to hear more about your program.
I'll be telling you soon.
I know. Right on. Okay,
All
see
right,
ya.
awesome. Bye.
All right. I have, oh wait, Shauna, there you are. Okay, Shauna got her own account. All right. Priscilla. Priscilla, I am, let's see.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can, yes. Hey.
Hi, how are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I'm well.
Good.
Well, it's interesting. I thank you for having me. And it's interesting. Listen to all the healers on the call. My background is I have is nursing. I have 20 plus years. I'm an RN. I haven't practiced in a 3D setting for a while, but my background when I did work as in nursing was, and still to some extent now, it was mental health. Mental health, and
Wonderful.
in the process of my journey, I became very interested in energy healing, emotional healing, and so where I'm at now is helping people understand the spiritual component of who they are, and also being able to heal them without the modality of medicine. And I agree with you, the history, the future is we will no longer need, where I think humanity is going, just my insight of is that we will no longer need the medical profession in terms of healing people mentally or physically, because we all have that ability in us.
Sure, sure. I mean, that's kind of like the ultimate evolution, right?
Yeah, yeah,
We're beyond medicine because we're beyond the body, right?
right.
Yeah,
And so
wonderful.
the reason I came today, because I'm really, my desire is not only spiritual empowerment coaching, spiritual teaching, but it's also knowing how to put all the moving parts together.
Yeah, totally.
You know,
Yeah.
so
And that's joy. Look, I got to be really honest with you, Priscilla. I'm super, super spiritual. I always have been. Like, I've been in touch with the spirit world since I was a kid, right? And my nature is, I'm Aquarius. Spirit and the physical go hand in hand as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
But the other thing that I love it, is the business aspect of my business. I love creating my business. I cannot tell you that the first thing I wake up in the morning, I wake up and I'm like, can I do my business? Can I start working on my business? And Spirit is like, wait, what about us? How about a meditation? How about a little pranayama? How about a little yoga? How about a little tea? How about brushing your teeth? You know, I am in love with business. And numerologically, I'm a number 8, so that totally makes sense that I would be in love with business. But to watch people blossom in business is your baby. You know, it is great to be a wonderful healer, but if you don't have the business structure and format to carry your gift to the world, then, you know, the gift is going to fall flat and you're going to be burned out. And it is not hard to create a business. It's not hard. It's easy to create a business. You just have to take it one step at a time and get practical about it. I'm good at that because I love the tedium of business. It's not even tedium to me. For me, it's excitement. When I think about like writing content for my website, I get chills up and down my spine. When I think about blogging, and I know my Heather loves this too. We think about blogging for our website, and we're like, oh, come on, you know, how do I not blog? How do I stop writing this? I don't know when I'm going to stop writing this article. You know, it's like I could just write forever. You know, it's like you love creating. So Priscilla, it sounds to me like you have that wonderful practical knowledge of coming from nursing, knowing how to, in order to be a nurse, you're a healer. Nurses are healers. They're there taking care of people, supporting people emotionally, seeing people, giving them their treatments, whatever. Yes, but don't you have to have an organized mind in order to be a nurse?
Yes,
Don't you have to have like structure in order to be a nurse?
absolutely.
So your ability to like come to your healing business with the ability to understand structure and containment, I think that's already a wonderful start. This is the thing about being a healer and having your own business. You probably already are good at something that you can bring to your healing business that will be a good foundation for your success. And if you don't have it, it can be learned, it can be taught. You can be mentored into it, you can be shown. You know, there's so many things that I had to learn that now I've been doing it for so long, it's second nature. That's my gift. That's my blessing. Having stuck with something for so long that now I have it, you know? Like with Keely and the law, and what Candi's going through with the medicine. You know, going through that process is just giving you the depth that you need to help you in the 3D world, to take this ethereal realm and bring it into the 3 dimensions. It's wonderful. It's a real blessing.
I agree, and you're right. You're absolutely right. I do. Like you, I've always been kind of spiritual, but I grew up in a background where they didn't really, it's like, I went out my whole life thinking everybody did it, but everybody don't do it. So, but you're absolutely right. But like I said, for me, it's like putting the moving parts together,
Yeah.
And knowing how to do that from a spiritual aspect, or from taking what I know from the physical and transferring it over to the spiritual and packaging it so that I can be able to monetize it and not feel bad about it.
That's right. Look, that is the business, and that is the business plan. So if you all are wanting to learn more about my program and how I can help you, with any of the stuff that we've talked about, whether it's the business stuff, which I'm excellent at, I love it, and it's powerful, or even if it's figuring out how to as Priscilla's talking about, like how to tie this all together. I have all these talents. How do I bring them together? Book yourself in for what's called an emotional wellness strategizing session, or a discovery session. Actually, for this, I think that you should book yourself in for a discovery session. So, Lamina, will you please get the link for discovery session from Acuity and put that in the chat? All right, and we'll include that. It's just slightly different. It's all kind of coming down to the same thing. I want, before you book yourself in for this session with me, I want you to answer a few questions. When you answer those questions and you're booking the appointment, I get those questions, your answers, I get your answers. And so when we show up at the session together, I have a little bit of background about what you're looking for. And so I can it's a better session when you do that. So book yourself in either for emotional wellness or discovery. It doesn't matter. It's all going to give me information that's useful, okay? And Solomia is putting those links into the chat box here in Zoom. Also, if you would post that on Facebook. Yeah, thank you, just in case. I have not checked in on Facebook. Priscilla, thank you so much for coming. And
Thank you.
It's wonderful, wonderful to meet you. Thank you. I'm going to just check in on Facebook. I haven't done anything on Facebook. I don't know if anybody's watching. Maybe if you can take a peek and if there are any comments, you can just respond to those. That'd be great. Thank you. All right, and I have one more here. You've been waiting so patiently. See me T. Are you there? I'm trying to unmute you. There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, hi. Wait, so
Yay. Hi.
Is it Simi T or Simit?
It's Simi, and then my last name is Toledano, so it's the first letter of my last name.
Simi T. That's your
Simi
rapper
T.
name. Simi T.
There you go.
Hi there.
Cool.
It's nice to meet you.
Hi, likewise. I'm happy
Thank
to
you.
be here, and honestly a little nervous too.
Tell me about what's going on.
Because I'm listening to everyone introduce themselves, and I'm realizing that I'm here because I'm confused, and no one has voiced that really.
Yes.
So I'm in a place in my life right now. I'm 31, and my background is in theater and film. I'm a trained actress and a writer, and I have directed theater, and my first movie's coming out soon, hopefully. And I've done producing and live storytelling, and I feel like that.
That's so awesome. Very cool.
Thank you. And I feel like that's where what my role is in life is to be a transmitter of stories, my own and imagined, and other stories that capture my imagination and my heart and spirit. And I also have a lot of other different interests, like women's and youth empowerment, social justice, permaculture. And then about 2 years ago, a wrench was thrown into like all of my plans. My heart was broken by a dear friend. We had like a really messy friend breakup, which opened up a lot of karmic wounds and intergenerational trauma.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I've spent the last 2 years like healing my mother line and traveling to Israel and Palestine and doing peace work and like really digging inside my own body and especially my left hip, like that has been like frozen my whole life. And so beginning to feel the energy move through there as well. It has been very miraculous. And at the same time, so I feel like I'm coming back into myself, like literally in my body and also in my spirit. I moved back to my hometown, Philly, to sort of complete this journey of the mother, healing the mother line and looking at my own inner mother, and reaching a point where I'm ready to like catapult myself into my business, whatever that may look like. And hearing you talk about how like so excited you are and turned on you are about creating business, I'm like, whoa, that's exactly the polar opposite of where I'm at in terms of my relationship with business. It's like I think about business and I just want to like curl up into a ball and say like that's someone else's job, I'm the creative. Like that's and so I want that. So that's a story that I tell myself, and it keeps me stuck and feeling powerless. So I think I really want to like inhale some of your excitement and what you're talking about in terms of like getting practical and taking it one step at a time. That's something I can relate to in terms of like making theater and film. Like I can get behind that that terminology in terms of like creating a story.
Look, I resonate so much with what you are saying. Not many people know this about me, but I actually spent a few years in theater school and like learning, the craft of acting. Cool. Not mastering it at any level, but dabbling in it. But what I found to me was mind-blowing. Like actors and the craft and the art of theater as a whole, but acting in and of itself and getting in touch with your body and being the art of presence and in touch with your emotions and being able to express truth in the moment and surrender all that stuff comes from, comes with acting. And for me, it's like, it goes hand in hand so much with healing that as part of my healing curriculum for my clients and like individual clients, and also in my big badass butterfly training program, acting actually is a part of the things, a part of the agenda. It's written into the curriculum as an exercise that we do, where we do, well, I'm not going to tell you what we do because I don't want anybody to ever know, like, just in case you do work with me, I don't want you to know what you're going to do when you go into it. Otherwise it ruins the whole point of it. But the point is there's a lot of, obviously, as you know, the whole art of acting is healing. It is healing for the self. It's healing for the generations, and it's healing for the people who can relate, or whose stories that you are telling. Like when you go to a movie and you sit and you cry at what's happening, it's because you're being touched. And their healing is your healing. Their loss is your loss, man. It's super powerful. Yeah. So to me, you going into depth with your art and your craft, and then doing all this wonderful, deep, rich healing that you're doing. You don't talk like a novice healer. I don't know. I think that I understand why you're confused. And I think that the only reason why you're confused is probably you haven't been ready to accept your full role as the healer, meaning that you would be supported in business because you are a healer. You're going to be supported always, see me, as an actor, as a healer. It's already written, it's already done. So you might be confused because maybe there's that part of you that says, really? Like, can I have that? Can I get that? But that would be the only reason for you to be confused, because what you're doing is so hugely aligned. It feels so right. I'm sure people that are on this call are feeling the exact same thing. They're probably going like, yeah, what's she talking about? Confusion. Not that we want to invalidate your confusion. You have the right to feel confused, and I want to support you in your confusion. But what you confused about, child? You got it.
I think, what you're saying about invalidating my own sense of alignment with what I'm meant to do. It's
totally
the first time I channeled a character and felt completely taken over by a character and expressed deep rage in wearing this mask of the character. The people in my acting class came up to me and expressed gratitude. Yeah. And it makes me still emotional today.
I can feel it.
It's like, I didn't know that could be part of what I do. I thought that it just made me feel good.
Yeah, exactly.
But other people were thankful that I could do that.
Yes. I am so excited. Yeah, I'm excited. Everybody on this line, on this call, is like lighting me up. You all are blessing me so much. Okay, look. So, Simi, thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everyone, for being on this call. I am all excited about everything. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually, the wonderful thing is that we've done a lot of questions. I think we've probably answered a lot of your questions, yeah? Now, I have a list of things that I want to talk to you about, but I'm going to kind of speed through the list because it's not really meant for me to, I'm bringing you all to these sessions so that we could have the dialogues that we've had, right? For me, the session is complete if you've heard that information. I've spoken to you. I've seen you. I want to validate you as a healer. Everybody that's on this session, I see the healer in you. I see the coach in you. I see the successful healer, coach, speaker, web personality, the writer, the author of books, the bringer of light, the bringer of the way. I see all of that in all of you. There's not one exception to what I've just said. So what I would like to do for our remaining time, I'm not even going to go over my dialogues. The thing that I wrote. It's in the PDF. You can read through that if you want to. I want to open this up to questions from whoever has a question. We'll have you raise your hand. And we're going to go into questions and answers. And if it turns out that nobody has any questions, then I'll give my list. Otherwise, we will not go through the list. You have it in the PDF. All right. So again, opening up for questions, raise your hand if there's anything you would like to talk about or anything that you want to know. And if no one raises their hand, then I am going to go into the list because it will open up questions for you, I'm sure. But just double checking here to see if there's anybody with any questions. I don't see a single hand raised. Therefore, I'm going to go on with my list. All right. So the topic that I wanted to talk about today, I wanted to get a little practical, and I wanted to talk about the difference between a spiritual life coach and a healer. I don't know if this is a question that you all have or have considered, like what's the difference between a healer and a spiritual life coach? And what I'm going to do is ask you all to raise your hand and tell me, whoever wants to tell me, you don't have to, but whoever wants to give their opinion or their perspective, what is the difference? No, let's do it this way. What is a spiritual life coach? Who has an idea of what a spiritual life coach is? Keely, I'm unmute. Oh, wait, sorry. Keely, yes, I'm unmute. I see you have your hand raised. I am unmuting you.
Hi.
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Wait 1 second, Keely. 1 second. Keely, are you there? Okay, hold on 1 second.
Okay, yeah, I'm here now.
All right, excellent. There you go. Please.
So I think what a spiritual life coach is someone who uses their intuitive abilities and connection with source to come up with ways to help people to work on coming up with solutions for their life and to help heal themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. You just nailed it. Yep, exactly. So a spiritual life coach is like a regular old life coach, right? A life coach helps you to manage your life. A life coach helps you achieve your goals. A life coach helps you deal with particular problems, and they coach you through the process. Usually with a life coach, there's a relationship that's built over time, and different coaches work in different ways. I personally work with my clients twice a week for the first 6 weeks to 3 months, sometimes even 6 months. It depends on the person and what we're doing. The key, though, with a spiritual life coach is to understand that we are going to take a spiritual approach to things. So a regular life coach is going to be super practical. Like a life coach is going to be like, so, where are you in your life? What do you do with work? And they're going to work with your job. Let's say that you want to change your career. You work in a corporate job, or let's say that you're working at one level in a corporation and you want to get up to a higher level in that corporation. the spiritual coach is going to give you some really great tools to help you. I'm sorry, the regular life coach, right? Sorry, the regular life coach is going to give you some practical ways to do that. They're going to help you with your resume. They're going to talk to you about a headhunter. They're going to talk to you about your qualifications. And you all are going to go in a very three-dimensional, orderly, linear way to that goal of getting a promotion or getting a better job. As opposed to a spiritual life coach, the first thing I'm probably going to ask is, how do you feel? And I'm going to be like, okay, all right, let's get you into your body. Let's get you feeling your body. Let's get you, and from telling me how you feel, I'll say, all right, how does it feel to be in your job? How does your job make you feel? And my job is going to be to help you get out of your thinking and help you get into your feeling nature, into your intuition. Because as far as I'm concerned, what you think is probably only 50% accurate, but what you feel is 100% accurate. And I think that Heather can attest to that. Armand probably can attest to that. And the feeling nature, though, is king as a healer and as a spiritual life coach. So healing, let's talk a little bit about the difference between healing and coaching. So as I've already said, coaching is about I haven't said this actually, coaching is about having objectives and working to those objectives. I work with people for a certain amount of time. 13 sessions is my package. I work with a person for 13 sessions. You can't work with a person for 2 or 3 sessions and expect that person to see a change that is integrated. You can see a change, sure, you can see a change in a person in one session. You know, one hour session, a person can leave from you changed. But 3 days later, when that issue is still coming up for them, you're kind of like, okay, you need another session, right? So the fact is, people need more than one session. You got to help them build momentum. You have to help them integrate their learning. They have to apply what they've learned. As a spiritual coach, you're doing a lot of work with moods and emotions. And those things are really, really, really like the foundation. And if you're not managing those emotions and teaching a person how to manage their emotions, then you're not really able to get them to make the changes that they need. Because as a spiritual life coach, mostly what I'm working with is the emotional self, the old wounded self, the inner child, working with karma, working with, as Simi beautifully articulated, working on those different ancestral lines and bringing all that together. Now, some of the things that I've talked about, you can work with as a healer. Yes. However, a healer does not coach a person. A healer gives what they're going to give, and then the person is on their own after that. Now, you might go in and have a Reiki session with a person, with a master, and the Reiki master makes you feel amazing, and then you're done. You had your session, and the Reiki master might follow up with you, sure, give you some feedback, but it's still up to you to integrate that healing that you've had. When you're coaching, we might have a healing session. I'll administer the Reiki, follow up with you, but then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about it. We're going to sit down. We're going to say, what did you experience? How do you feel right now? What has changed? And then we're going to do some coaching to see what the next step is to take you to your goal. I hope that makes sense. So let me just pause a moment. I'm going to lower all the hands. And if you have any questions about anything, please raise your hand. And don't be afraid to raise your hand. Solomia is here. She's going to keep her eyes open for raised hands, and let me know when someone's got a question. All right, but it looks good so far. So, all right. So for healing, I want to let you know that there are different modalities of healing. There are so many different modalities of healing, and naming them is only important, is only to help you give context for what you do. So if I say Reiki, if you don't know what Reiki is, you have no idea of what that is, that's okay. But if you do know Reiki, you know that there are symbols, you know it's the laying on of hands, you know it's about relaxation. If I say EFT, you know it's about tapping. If I say theta healing, you know it's about going into a theta state. You know, if I say shiatsu, you know it's going to be a acupressure massage. All these kind of things are just giving context. Now, many healers don't do just one thing. They do many different things. For me, as a spiritual coach in my practice, I first started off, as I said, as a massage therapist. I went into Reiki as the next logical thing because I wanted to be able to reach people at a different level. And then I went into coaching. Now, along the way, I studied a whole bunch of other different healing modalities, but the ones that really stuck with me are massage, which I adore, and Reiki. So those are my primary energetic healing modalities. Now, as a spiritual life coach, I became certified as a completion process practitioner under Teal Swan, who is a spiritual philosopher and one of my teachers. Someone I just absolutely love her. I love her, the way she teaches. That's the primary thing I love about this woman. She's an amazing teacher. She's an amazing channel of energy. So, Lamia, will you please search YouTube Teal Swan and then find Teal's page, YouTube channel. And then so Lamia is going to share that in, she's going to share that in the chat so that you all can have access to Teal and her video. She releases a video every week and has released a video every single week for free for the last, 8 years, 9 years? Something like that. She's amazing. She's an amazing teacher. Anyway, I forgot why did I go off on Teal? Why did I start on Teal? What was I talking about? Oh, thank you. I was talking about the different modalities. And so I got certified under Teal as a completion process practitioner. And so that's another healing modality. I like to bring different modalities together because I don't think that it's, I don't want to be a one-trick pony. I don't want to just be a Reiki master. Like, if I'm going to do Reiki, I want to use crystals. I want to use healing bowls. I want to use, I want to bring in spirit guides. I want to use the full moon. I want to do all these different things. And, my experience is vast. And so it's easier for me to bring in these things. Now, if you're a beginning healer, you're just starting out with these things, you may not have access to all that information. You don't need all that. You only need the things about which you're passionate. And if you're only passionate about Reiki or only passionate about EFT, then all you need to do is that and build your business on that. For me, that's kind of like the most important thing that you can do is to honor what feels amazing for you and work with that one thing. Later, as you grow your business and you grow your experience, then you add more things to it. I started off in my studio, all I did was massage. And my studio grew like wildfire because I was a master of massage. I was doing 1,000 massages, over 1,000 massages a year. That's a lot of massaging. I'm telling you, that overhead at $18,000 base meant I had to be doing a lot of massages. Oh, it was awesome though, man. It was awesome. All right, are there any questions? Please don't hesitate to raise your hand. All right, and a lot of this we've already talked about. This you can just read through. Okay. Oh, I do want to talk about this. I'm going to mention this. I mentioned this a little bit earlier. Doing a healing session in person versus doing a healing session online. Both are 100% effective. You can totally do both. In my professional opinion, I prefer to do healing sessions in person because, as I've just said, I like touching people. And I also really like setting up a very relaxing environment. When a person heals at home, you know, there could be kids in the background. If they live in the city, there could be traffic, and that's not problematic. But for me, my dream business means that I have a beautiful retreat center and people are going to come and receive hands-on healing from me. Now, coaching, as I said, is a little bit different. Here's the other thing about healing. After healing, a person can be very open and very vulnerable. When you're working with healing someone, their psyche is open, their portals are open, their chakras are open. I have a tremendous ability, as Heather said earlier, the healing that exists in your hands and that tactile contact, like feeling that, has the ability to ground a person and like move them into a state of, like if they're raw, my touch has the ability to help, like to be a balm, to be a salve to that wound, to whatever is open, that raw feeling that they can have. That's a little bit more difficult for me to do from afar. So for me, all of my healing sessions have to be done in packages with coaching, because I use words to heal from afar. You know, I can give the words, I can give the nurturing with the words, and that I can give. So for me to like heal a person from a distance online and then to leave them, I don't think I give a great experience like that. That's my input. And again, feel free to ask any questions that might come up, y'all. Raise your hand, okay? Let's see. What else am I going to talk about here? Oh, nope, got it. This is a difference between healing and coaching. Healing is kind of a passive thing that the client experiences. So they sit or they lie down and they are receiving. They're receiving. Their system is being worked on, and they're in repose, and they can fall asleep very often during healing. Like the conscious mind can check out, and that can be actually very good for the session. But in coaching, no checking out. Okay, so there's another difference with healing and coaching. Coaching, you need to be active, you need to be alive, you need to be live, you need to be aware, you need to be active. We're engaging one another in a very active way. All right, let's talk a little bit about the setup of coaches and healers. And I have this indicated as this is under, if you have the PDF, it's number 11, self-employment. Like, what's the difference between how a coach sets up their business and how a healer sets up their business? Healers both are super flexible. You can work from your home, you can work from an office. Healers have a lot of opportunity. Like a healer can go into can go and work in a chiropractor's office. They can go and work at a hospital. They can go and work someplace where they just need a chair to sit down and run energy. You know, you can do Reiki on the beach. You're not worried about privacy. Whereas with coaching, you don't really have that kind of flexibility. When you're coaching, you really need super privacy, like nobody listening on either end. Like, I don't want to do a coaching session in a Starbucks. I don't want anybody hearing my words spoken, you know, because it is chatty. Coaching is chatty on both ends. Healing, it doesn't have to be so chatty. The healing is probably not chatty. It's more energy exchange, and like I said, receiving. You know, there's a healing practice that I do where I will speak away energy, you know, but that's usually in tongues. But still, though, you don't want to be doing that out in public. It doesn't work the same way. But the other types of healing energy exchanges you can do. Like if you go and you see someone like at Whole Foods on a massage chair and they're getting massage or they're getting Reiki, that doesn't bother you. You can do that in the middle of the mall and it would be okay to do. You know, you can do that in a high traffic area and you could create a beautiful kind of cocoon and give somebody something soothing. It may not be the best place to offer that. You might prefer to do that in a private office. But I'll tell you something. If a person is feeling stressed out and they're in a mall and you lay their hands on them in the middle of that mall, you're going to shift their vibration. You are going to be of service, even if there are 100 people around you. You do have the ability to change that person's vibe and give them a really powerful healing. Now, I do want to just mention that in my spiritual life coaching certification program, even though I call it spiritual life coaching certification, in my opinion, a spiritual life coach needs a healing modality. So the healing modality that I give in the certification program is Reiki. I give all 3 levels of Reiki, and I'm assuming that everybody here knows what Reiki is. If you don't know, you can raise your hand and I'll answer that. I'll address that. But I give Reiki level 1, 2, and 3, and I give the business of Reiki as well. So how to set up your Reiki business and get yourself going in practice there. All right. I think that's all I have to say. Oh, one last thing. Wait. Yeah, really there's one last thing I want to talk about, and that's licensing and certification. I don't know if you know this, but basically energetic healing, healers, and spiritual life coaching are totally unregulated. Technically, you could set up your own business and start doing all your start seeing clients without having any kind of a certification at all. Now, the individual place where you're going to set up your business might ask you for your certification. That might be a part of the city's requirement, for example, if you're going to call yourself a healer. Most cities don't really like people establishing healing businesses, and they have these charlatan laws, which means that you cannot set up a business as a healer. You have to set it up under something else. Here's an example. When I was in Long Beach and I was setting up my my wellness center, I wanted just to do all massage and just have massage therapists working for me. But in Long Beach, because it's a port city, they would not allow any massage businesses because it's a port city. Massage was considered prostitution. So it was really, really, really challenging for me to set up the business. And what it made me have to do, though, and this was the beautiful thing, they gave me this roadblock. They said, nope, no massage. Can't do massage. I said, okay, fine. I hired an esthetician, and I hired a Reiki master, and we started holding classes. And then all of a sudden, my business grew from being just only massage to being all these different things and serving people in many different ways. And it was a beautiful place. I'll have to show you all some pictures. I'll send you some pictures along with the replay. But it was beautiful. It was a beautiful spot. So anyway, all of this is to say that licensing and certification, you need to check with the place where you want to set up your business and see what their rules are. I personally have my business registered in California, which is very liberal with lots of things, but I have my business set up as an LLC. My LLC is called Everyday Zen, and I have Crystal Bell as a business under the LLC Everyday Zen. And that works really well for me. But yes, my business is registered through California. So you know, if you're going to be doing this online, you have to decide, you know, where your home base is. And, you know, if you have a nomadic lifestyle like I am, you have to kind of get really, really clever with how you set things up and, you know, who you see and all these kinds of things. It's you know, it's still a new world. So we're developing things. Yeah. All right. Are there any questions? Okay, I think that's all I have to say, y'all. I feel like I'm done. Is there anything else before we start to sign off? No, it looks like, oh, look, Heather has a question. Hold on, Heather. I'm gonna unmute you here. Heather?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi.
Hi, it's not really a question. I just wanted to say that I've gone through the emotional wellness program, and now I'm now in the spiritual life coach certification program.
Mm-hmm.
But the space you hold is incredibly invigorating, and it got to the point where when there was some space in between, my husband would say, you know, if I'm having a down day or I'm just, you know, not feeling a lot of confidence in myself, he would just come out with, when are you talking to Crystal Lynn again? When do you have your next meeting? So he recognized the fact that it just uplifts me and it gets me motivated and confident. And it's just so valuable that you were able to pull that out of me, and it just changed my life. So thank you for that.
Yes, yes. You know, it's interesting, Heather. Thank you for expressing that so beautifully. My work is, I'm different with every one of my clients individually. And one thing about you, Heather, is you are a genuine optimist. You are not even like a pessimist. You can be real. You can look at things from, you can explore the negative, but you have a really high vibe character. And my job as a coach is to always go to a person and reflect their highest potential to them, right? It's working in that Jesus Christ consciousness. The Christ consciousness is understanding and seeing people through the eyes of unconditional love. So what that means is all I have to do is show up and be the mirror, and I channel you back to you. So you feel invigorated after session because that's kind of who you are, you see.
That's very well put, because if I had to explain that to somebody, what you do or how you do that, I wouldn't be able to.
I don't think we've
So very well said.
I don't think we talked about that.
I just learned something.
Hey, you know, and the thing is, for everyone here on this call, you might start off as a Reiki master, or you might start off doing EFT. As you work with people and you connect to the divine, you are going to learn more and expand into the healer that you are. So, like, you don't ever have to worry, like right now you're a beginning healer, this is new to you. You don't have to worry. All you have to do is do what you do now and know that it's natural to expand and to grow. Does that make
Well, the thing is that when I started this program, I didn't put myself in a lane, and I had no idea where this was going to take me. And I didn't have expectations on myself, and where it took me was very surprising. And starting the business that I am starting, never in a million years would have thought of this if I hadn't have gone deeply into myself and realized that my life had set me up for this. And that's where you find success.
That's it right there. That's it. And again, Heather's business is incredible. And this is particularly for Chandi. I would love for you all to talk offline or whatever. I don't know, Heather, are you ready to talk about your business in public yet or no?
I don't see why not.
Would you mind telling folks a little bit about what you do? We know, I think you've already told us you've been an RN, but please, if you wouldn't mind just telling everyone about what you do and what you're doing with your business, how you've evolved this thing. I think it's phenomenal. But please, go ahead, Heather.
Well, if you go onto my website, commongroundhealing.com, and look under my bio, it explains my history and what brought me to what I'm doing now. My business is called Coaching for the Caregiver. And I've had 2 children with chronic illnesses. My husband is a recovering alcoholic, and I obviously had an illness that I had to deal with as well. And going through the medical system is a nightmare. Going from doctor to doctor, it can actually make you worse. So what I do is I help walk people through the medical system and getting their medical records put together, being organized to free more time for themselves. And it's right now I'm starting strictly with a parent of a child who has a medical or mental health illness, and help them find the right doctor, get the right team together, how to discover themselves again, take some of the pressure off, develop a better relationship with their child, and just come out of this a whole person.
Yes.
And I've had to do it several times. And so now I realize that I'm supposed to share this. So in a nutshell, that's basically what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a phenomenal job, and the amount of time and energy and detail and richness that she has put into the business already. But then the immense background, you cannot imagine the things that Heather has done in her life that has prepared her to be of service to so many people on so many levels. She will be offering these practical things that she's just mentioned about, navigating the medicine, but she's got the emotional, she has the tools of the spiritual life coaching tools. She's got that toolbox. She understands the energetics, so she can talk to clients about the energies of what they're feeling and what they're experiencing, to be able to help a person to see their child in a way that is not disempowered or not like a victim of the system, but more like your child is here to have this experience and to turn all that thing that could be seen as negative and bad and to turn it into life affirming, which is what she's done with her life. She has taken, the theory is this: you cannot give to somebody what you don't have. So she cannot fake like this challenging path that she's had, where she's dealt with sickness, she's dealt with death, she's dealt with loss. Somebody who has not dealt with sickness or loss cannot be of great service to someone who's experiencing sickness and loss. You cannot give what you don't have. If you don't know about loss, you can't give the depth of sharing about loss, of compassion. It's hard for somebody who's never lost their mother to come up to me and be like, oh yeah, I'm sorry about your mom. Let's talk about that. Do you need some help with that? Like, no, not from you. I do need some help with that, but no, I don't need that from you. And does it mean that that person can't offer me something? Sure, they can offer me something. But believe me, I want to hear from the person who has walked in my shoes more than someone who has theoretically thought about it from a different perspective. And it's not to say that you can only talk about the things that you know. Heather, have I don't have a sick child. I've never had a sick child. I've barely had a sick pet. But I don't try to coach Heather about her children. I don't. I offer Heather what I can. When her children come up, I say, hey, Heather, I want you to sit with yourself. I want you to talk to your children from the energetic world. I want you to tune into your own childhood and see what it is, blah, blah, blah. You know, this is the way I work this situation, and this is what I recommend for people. Don't try to give what you don't have. So anyway, Heather, I think, is just a phenomenal story, and she's managing the business part, ladies. I'm saying, I know Armand's offline. She's managing the business part. She's figuring that stuff out step by step, and I'm there helping her. All right?
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Heather, and thank you so much for your sharing. I really appreciate it. I really do. Thank you.
Me too.
All right. So look, if there aren't any more questions, then we can go ahead and sign off. Just going to check if there are any more questions here, giving you another opportunity. All right. So, my friends, thank you so much for joining us, bringing your beautiful, gorgeous, lovely, exciting, Kundalini energy raising selves to this session today. Thank you so much. There will be a replay that will be sent to you. Book yourselves in for a complimentary discovery session or an emotional wellness strategizing session, and let's talk about how we can help you launch your business or launch your coaching career or your healing service, whatever it is you need. Let's talk about it. I'm happy to do that. So, signing off, saying thank you to my assistant, Solomia, who has helped so much with this event and is helping me so much, period. Awesome. And thank you all for attending. So bye for now. Mwah. Bye, friends.